Good day, everyone. Hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. So, today's story is by Ruskin Bond, and my Indian viewers will be quite interested to know that I've picked out his story, The Kitemaker, which is in a volume called The Best of Ruskin Bond. Now, I will be doing some more Ruskin Bond sometime later because his ghost stories and his stories of the macabre are truly good. So he will be a repeat feature on the channel quite soon. Meanwhile, if there are any authors or any stories that you would like to recommend, I would suggest that you leave a few comments below and I'll try to get to you and get to them as far and give me some feedback about what you think of this entire thing that I've got going on. So, without further ado, The Kite Maker by Ruskin Bond. Now, this is a tale that paints a word picture. So, I would like you to imagine a small, narrow street, and at the tip of the street is a banyan tree. And in that banyan tree is a kite which has gotten stuck because the string has slipped out of the boy's hands. And so he runs back to his grandfather, screaming, "Grandfather, grandfather, my kite! My kite is stuck." And who should his grandfather be but a former kite maker now in retirement, with a flowing beard that should have been white but has turned red because it has been dyed with henna. And his name is Mahmood. And Mahmood takes us on this journey, this journey of his past experiences with kites. He recalls a time when kites were sport fit for kings, when he saw grown men flying kites in the riverside fields. And he recalls how one kite getting cut by the other would constitute defeat and money would change hands. And he also recalls how the Nawab, or rather, as it an English translation of Nawab is king, old kings of India were called Nawabs. He also recalls how the Nawab would all commission him to make kites, and the Nawab himself would come with his retinue to the same riverside field and fly kites. But now, the art of flying kites is dying, and now the people are more interested in working with their hands. Now the people are in a great hurry. They are in a rush to get from point A to point B. Nobody has time for Mahmood. Nobody has time for kites. Everyone is very busy. And it is the innocence of this picture that is being painted in front of the reader's eyes that made me select this story. And so when the boy comes to the grandfather and says, "Grandfather, grandfather, my kite is stuck in the banyan," the grandfather says, "You shall have a new one," and gives him a kite made of silk and with a reinforced twine. And it is pink and green. It has a green tail and the body is pink. He has just finished making it. For the boy is his only customer now. And he loves to make kites for his grandson because it keeps his skills sharp. And his son lives nearby, which is a blessing to someone in the old age to be able to see his grandson. And so the boy takes the kite and the boy runs off to play with it. And a word of warning is given: fly the kite properly. You have yet to learn how to fly it properly, but with practice you will get there. That is what Mahmood tells his grandson. And then he recalls about the Nawab at the riverside and about how the Nawab had commissioned him to build a kite, which was called the Dragon Kite. Now, why was it called the Dragon Kite? Mahmood had made this kite on a frame of wood with paper discs, various pieces of paper cut in the form of discs of varying sizes, which he would then attach with a sprig of grass so that the kite did not lose balance. And at the front of the kite, he painted a frightening face and gave the face two mirrors for eyes. And this kite came to be known as the dragon kite. And it was a massive device, it was huge. No one had seen anything like it. And Mahmud was the only one who could get it to fly. And so it came to be that the Nawab and his retinue came to the riverside field and started to fly the kite. And at first, the kite would not rise into the sky, but stayed firmly on the ground, as if in open rebellion, as if challenging Mahmud, I shall not fly. And then what should happen? But the wind changed direction, and suddenly the kite was airborne. And everyone gathered there felt frightened because the sun was glinting on the two mirrors that the kite had for eyes. And the eyes were glaring back at the crowd assembled below. And ultimately, the kite pulled at the twine and pulled at the twine until Mahmud was not able to hold on to the spool. And Mahmud's sons, they held on to the spool as well. But even they could not do justice to it, and the kite ultimately broke free. Of course, Mahmud built another kite immediately for the Nawab, but he was forever known as the builder of the dragon kite. And in the past, when Mahmud fell sick, the entire locality would come to know how he was. They would look after him. They would bring food. But now nobody paid an old man, a wizened old man with sunken cheeks and a flowing beard, any attention. Mahmud was a relic from a bygone era. And in today's world, there was no place for kite makers. And so Mahmud, lost in his daydream, did not notice that his grandson had returned and was calling his name. And the grandson walked up to his grandfather, touched him on the shoulder, shook him on the shoulder, shook him like this. And he heard a rattling sound as if marbles were in his pocket. He got scared. He went from that place, asking for his mother, trying to find his mother, and then he broke into a run. Meanwhile, a butterfly that had settled on Mahmud's hennaed beard fluttered away to the top of the banyan tree, and a gust of wind freed the kite that was stuck there, the kite at the very beginning of the story. A gust of wind freed the kite that was stuck there and took it away into the heavens. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, whoever's watching this right now, was The Kite Maker by Ruskin Bond. And I hope you liked it, because it was truly a joy narrating it. And wait till I get to his ghost stories, guys. Then you'll have nightmares. Stay tuned. Next week, another episode. And I apologize that I could not bring this out on Monday. I was a little wrapped up with some work. But here it is for your viewing pleasure, listening pleasure, and your, I hope, revisiting pleasure. Please take care of yourself. These are troubled times. Get your vaccine done. And let's defeat this pandemic. Let's do it, yeah? Take care. This is the Bilge Master signing off. See you next week.